Hello and welcome back to my Dandelion Diaries. I wanted to make a longer formed video for the new Ferris Wheel Press inks that came out this month of February. So they came out with 3 different inks this month. 2 of them, one is from their standard line. It's like no shimmer, no nothing, it's just like a plain color. This one is from their Fairy Tales. It's called Knitted Nettle. This one's Cherry Sonata. And then this is their limited edition year ink. So this is the 2024 ink. Every year they come out with a different one. And this one is called Aurorealis, I believe. So I plan on doing some bigger swatches of these and then showing you some close-ups of all the properties like I do with my normal ink videos. But I felt these deserved their own video specifically because these colors they blew me away. I was not expecting them to be as beautiful as they were. So I'm gonna start with the plainer ones, I guess, or their more common ones, so their standard line, and then the Fairy Tales, and then I'm gonna end with the year of 2024. And we're basically just gonna do a big swatch of this because why not? In terms of Ferris Wheel Press, I feel like the Cherry Sonata is much wetter than their typical inks. It does have a bit of a flow to it. I haven't inked it up in a pen yet, but just using dip pens and swatches and things like that, it has done much better than some of the other colors that they have in their standard line. I feel like this is really common with their more red toned inks, even like their reddish purples or reddish blues. They just have a bit of a better flow to them, and I would say this one definitely fits in that category. In terms of the color of this, it is so beautiful. It's like got a red, dusty pink to it, almost like a dusty wine maybe. It is so beautiful. Maybe they're going for like the sherry, like the sweet wine. It's a gorgeous color, and I'll leave it for when it dries down, but this ink has some beautiful shading to it as well. Overall, I was really blown away by this one and had to make a giant swatch of it. Before I swatched the next one, Knitted Nettle, I wanted to show the box because their fairy tale lines have a very interesting thing about their boxes is that it shows the different properties in the ink itself. So this one has a dark green base, a red sheen, and a pink gold shimmer. It says NA on the shading, so we'll be the judge of that once the big swatch dries down. But the box is absolutely beautiful. I do have a light on to kind of showcase the box a little bit easier just because it's very shiny, as with most of the Ferris Wheel Press Fairy Tales boxes. It has a foiled look to it. Ferris Wheel Press's Knitted Nettle is definitely, again, more towards their standard, like dryish flowing inks, but the color of this is unique to me. So the box said dark green, right? Like it says it's dark green, but to me, this is more like a dark teal. It has a blueness to it. The shimmer in it is fantastic. It definitely does have more gold than pink in my situation. From my view, it looks more gold than pink, but I know it's duochrome, so it definitely will shine differently. I would say the sheen on this is very matte. It's not super oil slick or anything. It's very subtle. And I would say the sheen isn't super strong. It definitely shows up in larger writing, but in like the smaller nibbed stuff, it hasn't really done anything for me. I've tried this out in a medium Jen-Hao 82 and it did fine. I didn't have any problems, but I really didn't get a whole lot of the sheen. I mainly just got this beautiful teal color and then some shimmer. And lastly, but not least, is the 2024 ink. I wanted to show the bottle on this one because they typically do a different kind of design on the front. And as you can see, it has this gorgeous kind of foiling around it. It says 2024. And then I don't know if like the way the light is or the camera, and I don't know if you'll be able to read the inscription, but it says, "Embrace the future of fantasy and turn dreams into masterpieces." And I think that's really quite beautiful. I know Ferris Wheel Press does a lot of their inks to be like more artistic than anything else, so I think they try to make them more for artists. I must say this color, let me just swatch it for you. So I know I just recently did dark purple inks on my ink explorations, and I ended out my last color family series with that color. And if I had had this color, I would have 100% added it to that category. It is dark, it is moody purple, it has depth to it. It is such a stunning color. I will say there have been a lot of dark purples coming out recently. Wherein Goes Frankenstein, the Diamine end of the year ink vent with the, what was it? Raise a Glass. That was also a dark purple. Poison Envy came out by Ferris Wheel Press. And I think someone mentioned Diamine Deck the Halls from last, like 2022 ink vent. Lots of dark purples coming out. And I have to say this one is different than all of those that I've tried. So I would say closest, it's probably closest to the Diamine Deck the Halls, but it's much more purple. The Deck the Halls is much more black. It has like a blackness to it. But this ink is absolutely stunning by Ferris Wheel Press. Aurorealis is probably my favorite out of the bunch if it's like I wanted a really fun ink. Otherwise, 100% I'm picking the Cherry Sonata because it's just, it's so beautiful. Anyways, I really love the shading in Aurorealis. It has almost like a purple black to deep purple color. Again, I'll go over that a little bit more once it's dried completely, but I just really loved this color, and I was so happy that they picked purple for their 2024 ink because the Pantone color of the year is what, peach? So I wasn't really sure if they were going to follow that or not, and I'm glad that they didn't. Alrighty, I'm going to let these finish drying down the rest of the way, and then I'm going to come back when they're completely dry and zoom you guys in and show you the close-ups of the big swatches. All I want to say is I love these three inks, and I am very blessed to be part of the Jubilee program. So if you would like to support my channel or me in any way you want, you can use code Danielle on Ferris Wheel Press's website to save 10% on any of these or any of their products. So I just wanted to say that I'm very grateful, and I'm really enjoying these inks. But I'll see you guys in a minute. Okay, I am back. Everything has pretty much dried down. There's a couple of wet spots, but I want to zoom you guys in and show you the close-ups of these beautiful inks. So starting with the first one here, like I said, Cherry Sonata has absolutely gorgeous shading. It goes from like a dusty, lightish pink color, maybe even a medium pink, to a darker, dusty, like red wine pink. It is so beautiful. I love the depth to this ink, honestly, and I love that it is from their standard line, so it encompasses more shading than anything else. There's no shimmer, no sheen. It's just flat. Yeah, it's just, I really love this one. I will say there is a couple of wet spots over here, but the shading doesn't show up super light in a broad writing sample, I guess. This is from the 𝗂𝗁𝗏 nib, as y'all saw, so it's going to be very broad. I will say in a finer nibbed pen, it may show up more like this darker color than the lighter dusty pink, but overall, this is such a beautiful, dusty, like pinky wine color, and I really like it. I've really been on the dusty pinks lately, like Cashmere Rose was really nice, and then there's a couple of other ones that I have that I've been testing out that I've really been enjoying, and I must say I'm really happy to have this one to add to that because it's another shade, and it's dusty, and it's rich and deep and beautiful, and just, yes, I really like this one. Next, there was Knitted Nettle, which was that dark green with the red sheen and the pink to gold duochrome shimmer. So like I said, it's not really green to me. It's definitely more towards the teal side. I guess it could be kind of like a bluish emerald color even. I don't know, it's too blue-green to me to be just dark green. It has a blueness to it. On camera, the shimmer is showing up very pink, and in person it is very gold. So I'm going to try to tilt this to see if we can get it to hit that gold shimmer. There it is. So it's definitely got that duochrome like it says on the bottle, and the sheen is very matte, as I mentioned. It does have a bit of a wet spot on this side, but the sheen is around kind of like all of the shimmer, honestly, and it's not super strong and it's not super oil slick. It's definitely a nice matte darker red sheen, and I definitely like that about it because I feel like if it's super oil slick with the shimmer, it's just like there's way too much going on. But I really like this one too. The color is very unique for it to be called green, so I'm still going with blue-green on this one. And lastly, probably my favorite out of the group is the Aurorealis. I just want to take a moment for this purple ink. It is so absolutely beautiful. It does have that kind of like deep purple to it and darker purple shading. It does have no sheen, at least none that I can tell, just the shimmer. And again, this one has a duochrome shimmer. So on camera, it's showing up very kind of like pink, rose gold even. And if I tilt this, you can get to that full gold shimmer right here. So it definitely has both tones in it, which is absolutely beautiful with this deep purple color. Yeah, I really like this one. In terms of comparison, I would definitely say this is still much more purple than like the 𝗬𝗏𝗃𝗃, or even a little bit more of like a deeper purple than the 𝗦𝘃𝗃𝗃 Glass, which was the ink vent, purple ink vent, end of the ink vent kind of color. I think the color of this though is pretty close to Poison Envy. It's just, again, a bit more of a richer purple. It's not as dark. I really, really like this one. I'm excited to test this one out more in pens because I felt like its flow was okay. It wasn't super dry like a lot of the Ferris Wheel Press inks, but it wasn't as wet as like the 𝗪𝗁 Sonata. So I want to test this one out, and I'll hopefully report back and tell you guys what I have thoughts on it. But overall, I really love this one, and it's definitely my favorite out of the three. Overall, I am very excited for these three inks that were just released by Ferris Wheel Press. I would have to say, again, if I had to pick a favorite, it would be the 2024 ink, the Aurorealis. It is so beautiful. And I know I'm usually a green ink person, but second choice is going to be the 𝗪𝗁 Sonata just because of the shading alone. I'm loving the shading right now. If you want to pick up any of these inks, you can use my code Danielle on Ferris Wheel Press. I am part of their Jubilee program. It'll save you 10% on all of their products. I will say if they do go out of stock, you can sign up for restock emails, or you can check other retailers for them as well. I don't care if you use my code or not. I just really wanted to showcase these inks because I thought they were absolutely stunning. And on that note, I'm going to end the video off here, and I want to say thank you so much for joining me today, for playing with some more ink, and I'm really excited for some future ink videos I have getting set up right now, so stay tuned for that, and I will see you in the next one.